are a company dedicated to empowering, inspiring, and challenging you to find your passion, follow your purpose, and fulfill your dreams fearlessly. Tonight, we have a great show planned for you. We are going to have our guest, SANIYYAH Mayo, and I've been waiting for her to join in. Once she joins in, I know she'll announce herself. But in the meantime, you're right here, honey?
Yeah, I've been in.
Okay. Hi. Nice to hear from you, sweetheart. Thank you for joining in. We are so pleased to have you right now. Okay. And I'm just going to touch bases on what I do, and then we are going to give the floor to the lovely SANIYYAH and let her kind of go through her journey and her spiritual journey to becoming a boss and empowering others with you. So like I said, I'm Lakisha Ross. I offer one-to-one, group, and online coaching services globally via phone, email, Skype, and in person. And you can learn more about me at my website, www.mindsetovereverything.com. You can also follow me on my social media pages on Facebook and Instagram at Mindset of a Diva, and also follow my personal page, because that is also my business page, of Lakisha Ross, Lakisha Ross, Ross. Now, please, if you can go ahead and add me tonight, right now, because if you do have any questions during this show, I'm about to post a We Are Live post on Facebook, and you can leave your comments under that. I've just posted it. You should be able to also see it on SANIYYAH's page too. So if you could go ahead and do that, that'll be fine. I'm just about to press send. You should be good to go. So go ahead and do that. And like I said, tonight is going to be an epic show for you. We'll be taking questions. The first thing I want to let you know is we do have some awesome business ladies who have also sponsored tonight's show. I will be letting you know about their businesses too. So please stay tuned for that. And just a little bit about me. I was born in the United States, but you can probably hear an accent. That's because I was raised in London, UK, and moved back to the USA about 5 years ago. Now, I became a teenage mother at the age of 17, and trust me, I have been through many trials, struggles, tribulations, and everything you can think of. But one thing I never did throughout all of it was lose sight of my dreams. You know, I know what it's like to be broke. That's why I appreciate every little thing. I know what it's like to be unloved, so I practice giving love daily. I know what it's like to be at the bottom, so guess what? I remain humble even when I'm at the top. Because I've had it all, I've lost it all, and I've had it all again. But in every situation, ladies, I learned something new about me. So as I faced every new challenge, I would find a new strength. In that new strength, I was able to overcome that obstacle. So that allowed me to grow stronger, to think wiser, to live better. And I spent years learning how to master myself. I'm still not at the top, but I'm getting there, and I'm practicing the art and the secret to living happily and abundantly. And I set out on a mission last year to inspire others to follow their dreams. And I'm going to be honest with you, in less than a year, the things that have occurred and the manifestations by the grace of God that have come up in my life, I can't even begin to tell you how great He is when He decides to move over you. And I found myself coaching people all around the world to step outside their comfort zone, to listen to their inner calling, to follow their passion, to lead a happy and abundant life. And I'm blessed to be able to do that. And I'm changing lives. I'm making impact. And to me, that is what is priceless. You know, don't just be on this earth to be on this earth. Be on this earth to inspire, to motivate, because we need it. Right now it's a confused world. We're all reaching out trying to find that person, that someone, that thing that's going to make us happy, and we forget to look within ourselves. So like I said, I have a brilliant show scheduled for you tonight. But enough about me. I do want to introduce our phenomenal family therapist, author, motivational speaker, and the founder of the Girl Gossip Network, the Focus, the Fierce, the Fabulous, can I say it all? SANIYYAH Mayo, calling all the way from Cali. Please introduce yourself to the audience, my love.
Hello, I think you've done a great job by introducing me. Thank you.
Go ahead.
So as you said, my name is SANIYYAH Mayo. I'm an author, a therapist, a motivational speaker. That's just what I do. I have a passion for it. I love to do it. I would do it if I didn't get paid for it. I just feel like it's my destiny.
Perfect, perfect. And I've been watching you. I know a lot of these callers tonight have been watching you. They're following you. They're supporting you. And, you know, you are definitely an inspiration to me and to many on a daily basis. And, you know, tonight I'm going to be just speaking to you, asking the questions that I know our listeners want to know. You know, how did you get started? You know, what keeps you going? What drives you? And I know more than anyone, the callers really want to hear your side of your story. Please, callers, get yourself some pens, paper. You want to take some notes because, trust me, you are going to hear the real today. So before I get started with the questions, I do want to do my first shout-out for one of our sponsors tonight, and that is for Tiffany Anita Hall, and she is the CEO of Pink Pearl Couture Boutique. They specialize in elegant accessories, haute couture wear, and personal styling services for proms, bridal wear, upcoming events for all sizes, ladies. And you can order off her website, and she ships directly. And I can tell you this now. I've seen her stuff. I've purchased her stuff. She is on point, definitely worth checking out. They are located at 935 West Sugarland Highway in Clewiston, Florida. But like I said, if you are not in the area, you can shop online, www.pinkpearlcoutureboutique.bigcartel.com. So please go ahead, support this young lady doing business. A link to her pages is also available on my Facebook page. Please check it out. So once back to business. SANIYYAH, the first question I know that most of the listeners on the line right now want to know is, first of all, how did you get started on this journey to becoming your own boss and, you know, following your dreams?
Well, when I was in grad school, you know, to become a licensed therapist, you have to complete 3,000 hours. And while completing those 3,000 hours, sometimes your internships or your practicums might be you working for free. So while working for free, you know, I realized, like, this 9 to 5, like, I felt like I was in jail. First of all, I'm not a 9 to 5 type of chick. And then I thought to myself, if I'm going to be busting my butt to build someone else's empire, I need to be building my own. And so, you know, I started, you know, thinking about the different things in my gifting, and I've always loved to help people. And so don't get it wrong. I love being a therapist, and I love doing what I do. But I've always wanted to do it on a greater scale, like selling out arenas. And when I would tell my colleagues, they thought I was crazy, you know, that I was going to do motivational speaking. But I know that's a passion, and I know that's what I'm destined to do. And so that's what pushed me to basically, instead of working for someone else and building their empire, I'm like, I have to build my own. And so that's what gave me the idea to jump out and do the things that I needed to do to build my empire.
Awesome. Awesome. And so that, you would say that was like your compelling force that gave you that first step. Now, I am aware, you know, and you have spoken about it, that, you know, you faced a lot of your stuff as a teenage mom. You know, I was a teenage mom. So I know the challenges that, you know, come with that. can you just kind of touch bases on, because there's a lot of people out there right now. We could have some teenage moms on the line, or just moms in general who are trying to juggle this lifestyle. What would you say some of the challenges you faced that you learned, that you could probably advise them on to make things easier for their journey?
Well, being a teenage mom, it was something that was definitely not planned. I had 2 older sisters that actually had kids as a teenager, and they would ask me to watch their kids, and I would tell them no. Having a baby young was not ideal for me. It wasn't planned, but when I did get pregnant, it brought something out in me. Like, I was an at-risk youth. I gang banged. I fought all the time. I was really, I had a negative mindset. I was angry all the time because I had lost my brother, 4 years prior to that. And so when I got pregnant, I realized that I didn't want my daughter to be what I saw. And what I saw was older women from my neighborhood. They were still gang banging, teaching their kids to have a impoverished mentality, and I didn't want that for my daughter. People would say different things like I was going to be another statistic, I was a hoe because I had a baby young. I would never exceed the expectations of what society said I should be, but I couldn't be. Even though they didn't say it directly to me, it always came back and it hurt, to know different people viewed you like that or said those things behind your back. But it wasn't about the people. I knew I had to get myself in gear and do something better for my daughter to show her that even though I'm a teen mom, you could still do whatever you desire to do. And so those are the things actually that changed me. Having my daughter actually gave me a different perspective of life. I went through a depression stage, after I had her, because I went from this girl that was in honor classes in middle school to not believing in myself because of what people spoke into me or the things that people said about me. So because they said I was dumb, I started to believe that I was dumb, and I started to view myself how other people viewed me. But then later on in life, it wasn't until I had to say, wait a minute, Saniyyyah, you got to do what you have to do for your baby. And so that's what I did.
Definitely. Could I just ask everybody to put their phones on mute for me just so we don't have a lot of background noise? Thank you so much. And I totally agree with you, Saniyyyah, on that. Being in the same predicament, being a teenage mom, and I was told that I wasn't going to amount to anything. I wasn't going to do anything with my life. But just like you, I often say my daughter saved me because I was heading down a slippery slope, the bad road, following peers, doing all that. And I had to make that decision when I had her. What type of mother was I going to be?
Right.
And, to be the mother I wanted to, okay, I can't be with my friends anymore. Okay, I can't run the streets anymore. Okay, I can't live this reckless life anymore because I now have somebody who's dependent on me.
Right.
And that forced me to, as they say, woman up. Now, I'm not saying everybody needs to go out there and have, a teenage pregnancy to woman up. But for some people, like me, I actually thank God for sending her my way because I think back now and I don't know what without her,
Right.
I truly understand what you're saying, and for me that was my driving force, where I was never going to accept no for an answer, and I was going to do the best I could be because she's looking up to me, So that is so true. So what led you, passion? You've got this dream. What kind of led you into the actual family therapist part of it?
Can you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry, I didn't really hear you.
What led you to, wanting to be the family therapist, wanting to give your services, and what services do you offer?
What actually led me to that? I was an at-risk youth, so when I went to college, I actually got my undergrad in administration of justice with the hopes of wanting to work for the probation department. I thought I could, reach some kids and kind of speak into their lives. And I actually did an internship, and I'm very thankful that I did an internship before I decided to go that route, because I realized it was a lot of court documents and a lot of paperwork, and you really didn't have that time to have one-on-one with kids and really make an impact because your caseload was so big. And so people have always come to me for their problems. Why? I don't know. I've always been the go-to person among family and friends. And, you know, my husband's like, everybody always bombards you with their problems, and you need to start paying for it. But I'm like, I'm definitely not going to charge them. But it made me realize my own gifting, that I did have a gifting to speak into people's lives and to help them figure out solutions and to change mindset. Because anytime you need to change physically, there has to be a change of mindset first. And so that's what allowed me to see my gifting and to pursue that field, as well as someone at my church speaking into me and telling me that that was my destiny. And it was funny to me because the night prior to that happening, I had prayed about what my destiny was, what was my plan and purpose for my life, because at that point I didn't know, and I was up and down and trying to figure out what should I do, what can I do. You know, I didn't feel fulfilled, and to pray that prayer that night and to go to church the next day and someone tell me exactly what I was praying about was actually a phenomenal thing. And so I just, you know, went back, I got my bachelor's and then ended up getting my master's, and I've been on, you know, the journey ever since. And the type of services I provide, I actually work at a high school right now where I provide, you know, counseling services to high school students. But I do, you know, group therapy with couples and, you know, different things like that. And I do speaking engagements, but you would definitely have to book me. And the way you would find me is either through social media, which all my social media is SANIYYAH MAYO. My website is SANIYYAHMAYO.com. So if anyone ever wanted services, you would just reach out to me like that.
Awesome. You know, your story just has to be told. Congratulations for sticking it out, for going to school, for doing what needed to be done to get to where you needed to get to, okay? And then, you know, kudos to you every time. I love and I'm totally inspired when I see other sister queens getting out there, handling their business and doing whatever it takes to make sure that they can set an example for them and those coming, you know, after them. So once again, you know, kudos to you. I'm going to take a little sponsor break and just shout out another 2 sponsors who are making moves and owning businesses who I want to shout out. One goes to Tiffany Lavelle. She is the CEO and founder of the Miss Diaspora Africa International Pageant. She is currently looking for contestants, sponsors, partners, and vendors for this awesome pageant show. And if you do want to take part or are interested, please send all inquiries and details to talglobal@gmail.com. And I'll repeat that. It's talglobal@gmail.com. You can also find her on Facebook at Miss Diaspora, DIASPORA, Africa International Pageant, and her website is www.missdiasporaafrica.com. The ages are between 18 to 35. You can register to sell her products and services through her website, and this is due by July 15th. The first 20 entrepreneurs or businesses to register by May 30th will receive 1 free general admission ticket. So once again, shout out to Tiffany Lavelle of Miss Diaspora Africa. Her information is also available on my Facebook page if you didn't quite catch everything right now. Also, definitely have to shout out Nicole B. of Pretty Pieces Online Boutique. If you're looking for that special outfit, she does a fabulous array of clutch bags, vivacious pieces, haute couture pieces. She really does make sure that your online fashion experience is of high quality, and you can shop with her at www.shopprettypieces.com. And you can also find her at Pretty Pieces on Instagram. So once again, shout out Nicole B, Pretty Pieces. And please remember, if you have any questions for us during this show, feel free to put that on the comment section under the We Are Live Now post that should now be visible on my page, Saniyyyah's page, and GrindFace. So moving on. So also I want to talk about your book, Saniyyyah, and where and how can our listeners purchase it. So I'm going to give the floor to you. Please let us know about the book, what it's about, why you chose to write it, and where our listeners can purchase it.
Okay, you can purchase the book at SANIYYAHMAYO.com, and because my name is so long, I'll spell it out for you. So it's SANIYYAHMAYO.com. You can purchase the book there. And what led me to write the book was actually my own experience and different things that I've observed over my childhood, and just, speaking to different friends and family members and just observing day-to-day life with people. I wrote the book because there's so many cycles that go unnoticed, and people normalize them because it becomes their norm. Like, I'll give you an example. Having a favorite in the family. People don't understand how having a favorite child, how it affects the dynamics in the family, how it can be toxic and dysfunctional. Because if you have a favorite kid, it makes the siblings resent that kid. Not to say that it's the kid's fault, because they're a victim just like the other kids. But then the grandkids usually are favorite grandkids of the favorite child. So it's just like a generational cycle of toxic behavior. Another thing that I speak about that holds dear to me, and people say, well, you've been with your husband since you were 13, so you really don't know. But I've seen it over and over again where men and women say, there's no good guys or good women out there. And I'm like, yes, there is. The problem is when you attract what you are. And people will disagree, and I stand firm on this. You attract what you are. When you find yourself in a situation over and over again, just different names, it's not the person. You cannot be mad at the person. You have to realize, what is it about self that keeps attracting me to these type of people? And that's when you have to do soul searching. So I talk about that. I talk about how when people are in relationships, they introduce men and women to their kids, and they don't understand that you're not the only person that's in this relationship. Your kids are in this relationship too. So every time you change a person and you bring these people in and out of your kid's life, you're affecting them. You should never introduce a man or a woman to your kids until you know it's going to be long-term. So I just talk about the subtle things, how when we meet people, we look out the outer exterior instead of looking at the inner. How can this person connect with me spiritually, physically, emotionally? Like, I'm an intellect. If you can't stimulate me in conversation, we can't really converse. You have to talk about something that's going to make me interested and in tune to what you're talking about. Are you losing me? I don't care about who's shoes and what Bobby did. You have to mentally stimulate me. And so we need to look at the things, the long term, not how good a person looks, not how much money they have in their bank account, not how they're dressed, because those are all superficial things. But this is a society norm, and we normalize this. And this is why we get caught up and find ourselves in toxic and bad relationships. And then we're like, I don't know why I'm not married. Well, look at the type of people you're choosing, but you can't look at the person. You got to look at self first. So these are the things that made me want to write this book, because so many people talk about things like this, but they don't realize how dysfunctional or impact it not can only have on you. See, the thing about being an adult, we see how things affect us, but we don't think how it affects our children, because they are watching us. They don't do what we say. They do what we do. And I can't stress that point enough.
Preach it. Preach it, honey. Preach it tonight. Go ahead.
So, another thing that I talk about in my book that is really dear to me is, unspoken truths. And that's where you have family members that there's a lot of dysfunction with the family, but people sweep it under the rug and, they act like it doesn't exist. But I believe in overcoming something, you have to address it. Nothing will ever be changed if you're silent. Change only comes when you speak up and speak about things. And so, but that's normal. When I was growing up, it was a child is to be seen and not heard. And I don't raise my kids like that, because my kids are people and they have voices. As long as they're not disrespectful, they can speak to me about anything, because I want my kids to have that relationship where they can always come to me. I would rather them come to me than come to somebody else, because I don't know what the person is instilling in them. So my book just talks about a whole host of things, and it's pretty much a self-help book to help people identify the subtle cycles within their own life to break away from them.
I love it. I'm just, every point that you've hit on is such an important factor. And there are so many people out there going through, exactly what you're speaking about. So, to get it real, to get it raw, a lot of us don't want to accept that the cause of a lot of what's going on today is, the parenting skills,
Yes.
the lack of knowledge in how to parent, the
Yes.
lack of, a lot of us were grown in the age of fear. We feared our parents. And although, we can say that was a good thing, it also kept us from really being open and telling our parents what they needed to know.
Yes. Yes.
We lived in fear of telling the truth. And this generation, we have to let them know they are free to express themselves. It may not be what you as a parent want to hear, and it may not be, what you want them to do, but let them come to you. Let them talk to you. Don't judge them. See them through, because a lot of times we were told too growing up, it's okay, you can tell me the truth, then you tell the truth, and if your parents were like mine, you get a whooping straight after. And I'd be thinking, well, you told me to tell the truth, I'm telling it, so
right.
It really does have a lot to do with the parenting, so I really do understand that. And it's also, like you said, a mindset that is going around lately. That's what got me into the empowering, because I'm going to be honest, I'm not just going to say it's the women. There's a lot of men too, but I can guarantee there's a majority of women on this line tonight. And a lot of us women have really lost the way. I'm not talking girls. I'm talking grown women. But like you say in your, your little video, they have the mentality of a girl.
Yes.
Yes. We really need to start checking our thoughts, our actions, how we see each other as women. The competition, the unnecessary competition we place between each other, the jealousy, the envy. It's crazy. And that leads me to something that I just love, and that is your Girl Gossip Women Network movement. I'm a major fan. I believe in that wholeheartedly, and I would just like you to share with the callers, exactly what that movement is about.
So when my husband and I were sitting down, in today's time, everybody's a rapper, everybody's a singer, everybody's a model, photographer, and so forth. And, people just do things because they see the money aspect of it. And when you're really passionate about something, you'll do it for free. I'm really passionate about changing the mindset of people to provoke thought so they can have better lives. And so I kept seeing on social media, like, different people that they're saying they're motivational speakers. And I am a therapist, and I have a master's degree, but I was telling my husband I have to be set apart. I can't fit in, but I've always been the type where I don't follow, I lead, So I said, what can I do different that nobody else is doing? And so I said, I need to come up with a shirt or with a slogan with my message. And so my husband and I were sitting and we're conversing, and he says, Girls Gossip Women Network. And I was just like, I love it. I fell in love with it. And so, my husband, he's very creative, a graphic designer, and he made a design, and I just ran with it. But it was a topic that was dear to me, though, because I see so many people that they gossip. And when I really looked at the people that gossip, I saw that most of their lives were not fulfilled. They had a negative mindset. They were insecure. And see, people mask insecurity in so many ways, but when you recognize it because of different things you've been through, you see it automatically. I was a little girl rejected, and that was an insecurity for me and different things. And so when I see certain things, I automatically recognize it. And so I realized that people's gossiping was like a cover-up for their own insecurities, because the reality of it is when you're really happy and really fulfilled, you don't care about what other people are doing. You don't care about the negativities of someone's household. You are really focused on you and your household and how life is impacting you. And so it was a message that it was imperative to get across, because so many people put people down thinking that's going to make them, other people view them higher. But a wise person would look at that person that gossips so much and just sees the insecurity. Not only that, I'm a firm believer, if you do it to them, you do it to me. So if you gossip about people all the time, you will never be my friend. And the reason why you would never be my friend is because if you do it to her, you'll do it to me. There's no exemptions to the rule. And so what people don't realize, but see, I believe you're among people who you're like. So when people tell me that such and such is negative and this person, that tells me a reflection of you. Because I believe, and people say that's not true, birds of a feather don't flock together. That is a true statement. Even the statement that says, or the phrase, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. That's very true.
Yes.
Because
and it is.
People stick together, and that's reality. So when I see a group of women gossiping, I have to excuse myself, because we have nothing to converse about. See, my conversation is empowerment, God, building businesses, and how we can get to the next level. If it's positive, if it's not positive, I don't want to partake in it.
You ain't dealing with it. That's right. That's right. That is so right. And I'm hearing you, and I'm feeling you so much tonight, because everything you're saying is so true, and it's why we are the way we are right now, because everybody's too busy focused on the next rather than focusing on fixing themselves. If you spend all that energy, because what I learned a long time ago is every second that I waste talking about you or fixing my lips to say something negative is a second wasted bringing some positivity and abundance in my life, and I ain't got that time to waste. You know?
Right.
And we really need to get people on board. You know, we've got this movement. Everybody's talking about empowering, but it's only empowering to a certain extent. You know, I'll empower these people who I like, but I'm not going to worry about those that I don't. Empowerment doesn't work that way.
It does not.
You know, empowerment is for each and every person. And if you're walking in your faith and you're walking in God's steps, how can you not love his people? You see, something I learned is you can not hold revenge and envy and all of that stuff in your spirit and then still walk and say you're walking in your purpose and you're fulfilling God's purpose, because right there you've gone wrong. But a lot of us don't want to shake that off. We don't, we want to be good, but not good enough to forgive our enemy. Well, guess what? Sometimes in order to get to the next level, it means forgiving that enemy. So how much do you want it? You know, how much are you prepared to go for it? Right. So I know you, just like me, have seen many highs and lows. Like I said, I've had it all. I've lost it all, and I've had it all again. But through your highs and lows, what is the one thing that has always, kept you going?
God. First and foremost, God. I grew up as a Muslim, and my dad changed. My mom has always been a Muslim. She's still a Muslim. And my dad dedicated his life to Christ when I was 12 years old, and it gave me a whole different perspective of life. Even though I was as a teenager wilding out, I always knew God was my foundation. At my lowest points, he was the only one that I can ever talk to. Even now when I have problems, I either talk to God, my husband, or my father. And even, my husband and my kids, that's what keeps me going, because they're the reason why I do what I do, to have a better future for my family, as well as fulfill God's purpose. So it goes hand in hand, family and God. And when people say, God first and the family, that's so true. And if God is not the center of your life, it's a disaster, period.
And that's so true. That's so true. And I'll be honest with you, until I devoted my whole life to him, and when I say devoted my whole life, a lot of people who follow me know, some don't. 2009, we experienced, we went through the whole recession, and we lost everything. And sometimes God will strip you butt naked to get your attention.
Yes, he will.
And he took us, me and my husband, down to the bare bones to get our attention. And trust me, he got it. And he got it all the way. And a situation that at that time we were like, wow, why us? Woe is me. To me, that was the best thing that ever happened to us. Because in that moment, we had to search deep within and find out who we were without the accolades, without the material items, without all the adornments, just us. And, you have to face some truths you don't want to hear, but at the same time, you got to face them. And you got to handle them and deal with them. And on the other side of that, days like today, you can look back and just smile and say, look at God. So I truly understand that. Anything I do, everything that goes on with me, he gets first and foremost the praise. Because when I tell you he works in mysterious ways, only at this age, just turning 40, I can look back on my life now. And somebody bought me a book called I Can See Clearly Now. And I swear, if that isn't me right now, all of my life, I've realized everything led me to this point in time. Everything was a piece of the puzzle. And we don't always have the answers, but we have to keep pushing forward. We have to keep overcoming obstacles. And we have to, number one, keep that faith. If we keep that faith, he has got us 24/7. So I'm hearing you on that, honey. I'm going to take a quick break again. And for this break, I just kind of want to recognize a nonprofit that is making moves in their city. And this is the Kids Way Corp. They are producing the first Kids Way Field Day taking place in Fort Myers, Florida on June 25th at the Stars Complex. That's 2980 Edison Avenue, Fort Myers, Florida. And this event is going to be a family-friendly event for all ages. It's a free event. It's a day for kids to just be kids, and even for adults to be kids again, too. They'll be bringing back the days when children could go out to play, have fun, and simply be free without worrying about violence and anything else of a negative nature. There'll be bounce houses, races, trophies, cotton candy, face painting, gift bags, you name it, they're going to have it. But they still need vendors and donations to help ensure that this event is one that the kids and the Southwest Florida community will never forget. So please, if you can help, assist, donate in any way, please contact the Kids Way Nonprofit LLC Director, Jermaine Church, by emailing churchjermaine, that's CHURCHJERMAINE @gmail.com, or by calling or texting 941-208-3094. You can also contact Shalonda Lynette Church Fulcher, CEO of Beyond Elegant Rentals, and more. Shout out to all who have already donated and supported this worthy cause. Remember, it is always a blessing to be a blessing. Keep it up, Kids Way. We see you. The city needs it. Let's help these children, and everybody, let's try and support and make this day something the kids will remember for a lifetime. So going back, I would like to kind of open up the line. Is there anybody out there right now who would have a question that they would like to ask?
Hello, my name is Saniyyyah. I'm from Beaumont, California. I'm actually Saniyya's cousin, and I just wanted to give her a shout-out, let her know that I'm so proud of her for walking in her calling that God has gifted her in, and I support her 100%, and I just want to let her know that I love her and to keep going. She's doing something that takes a lot of courage to do. A lot of people don't say what the right thing is to do to create change. But I'm so proud of her for stepping out on faith and doing what God calls her to do. I love you. I'm standing behind you 100%. That's all I have to say.
Love you more.
Amen.
Hello.
That was beautiful. Hi, have you got something you would like to ask?
Yes, ma'am. And just, I guess, a bit of advice. My name is Yoko, and I just recently became, am I saying it, I can't really pronounce your name, SANIYYAH?
SANIYYAH.
SANIYYAH, I'm so sorry. Shania's friend on Facebook. And she has been such an inspiration to me because I'm trying to, like, do the same thing in my life with the women that I'm connected to. And God gave me this thing that I really haven't launched yet. I've just been kind of playing around with it. But he gave me the name, but I haven't really, like, put it in stone as far as trademarking, and I have a logo. But what I want to do with that is inspire women and hold conferences and, like, be motivational speaker. I'm in school to be a counselor right now because helping women and helping young girls because of the lifestyle that I grew up in, I just have a great passion for it. And I just wanted to know, like, as far as, sometimes when God is giving you something, I don't know, for me, it's just, I feel like I'm just sitting on it and not really doing anything. And I kind of just don't know what to do. I know my dreams and my goals of what I want to do with God, what God has placed on my heart. But I kind of don't know how to put it together because I want it to be more than the girls wearing a T-shirt with an inspirational message behind it. Even though that'll uplift someone, maybe putting that shirt on and having a tough day, and I want it to be something that they're reminded of. But I would like to get a group of women together and just start, like, speaking, started like what you're doing. And I just think it's awesome what you're doing. Again, that's why I'm following you, because I'm just trying to kind of parallel what God gave me, just looking at you.
Mia, I'll leave you to give her some words to. We definitely know she's on. So, go ahead and kind of just give her some words from the start.
So I definitely appreciate you, being inspired by what I do, because I always tell people I'm not doing anything that's incredible. I'm just being me, because that's all I know how to be. But the only thing that I would say is just step out. My biggest obstacle was me. I was fearful, like. 3 years ago, my husband was like, you need to do videos, like, you're so inspirational. And I'm like, okay, I really didn't see it, because sometimes it's hard for us to see our own gifting. And when people would tell me that, I would shut it down. And, I would be like, oh, I don't want to do videos. Look how I look. I'm overweight and different things like that. And God had to show me that I was vain. And I'm like, I'm not conceited, because when he showed me vain, I thought there was people that was conceited. But when I looked up the definition, it was someone that was overly obsessive with a look or with an image. And I was like, oh, my God, that is so me. Like, what if someone I went to go see Trenton Shelton. And I'm like, I don't want to take a picture, because I'm the type of person, if I'm not head to toe, I don't want a picture. But God had to show me I had to get past that, because in order to be in front of people, you can't always think about how you look. Even when I did the Girls Gossip Women Network video, people were like, you need a pop and shoe, your lips need to be cute, your hair. And I said, you know what? I told my husband, I said, let's just go do the video. I didn't have on any makeup or anything. I said, because I want people to hear the message and not be focused on me. And I think the biggest obstacle of not starting is fear. Once you get past that, just go. My biggest prayer was, God, surround people of you around me that will help me push me. And I promise you, when I prayed that prayer, I saw people walking out of my life that I wouldn't have never expected, and it hurt. But at the same time, it was so beneficial to me in my life. Pray that prayer. God, show me what it is that you want me to do, and align me with those people that will help me birth your vision. That's good.
Wow. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. Is there anybody else with any questions tonight?
Well, let me ask, did that answer your question?
Well, I mean, as far as the prayer, and like you said, like you have fear. I know I have fear in me. I know it without a doubt. Because God gave me this many years ago, well, about 3 years, about two years ago.
And when he gave me the name, I'm like, okay, he wants me to do something with it. And, you know, my coworker just told me, you know, you're so good motivating people. Like, that's all I know how to do. But I just don't know how to, like, encourage my own self to go the extra mile. Like,
you got to speak to yourself.
You know what I'm saying?
Know, yeah, you have, you know, and I understand that, because as an encourager, you're always encouraging other people, but sometimes you need to be encouraged. But I've learned I'll give myself 5 minutes to cry. Okay, get up, let's go. So I start speaking to myself, like, literally, Sania, get up. It's time to get busy. Like, okay, it hurt. You're crying. Crying is over. Sometimes you have to be that voice within yourself and speak into your own life when you don't have those people around you. I did have those people around me that would speak, but I know I'm going to listen to me. And when I tell myself to get up, it's time to get up. So you have to encourage yourself. Even if you have to speak out loud to yourself and tell yourself it's time to go, it's time to move. Even if you do one task a day, do something.
Right. So can I just ask you, like, how did you get to, like, where you are as far as you encourage? I don't know if you speak at conferences or anything like on that platform, but if you're not, I'm sure you will be, because you're right on track. But how did you get to where you are right now? Because you have a lot of stuff. I can see, you know, you have a lot of women that follow you, and because you're not gossiping, you're inspiring them. You know, you're motivating them, like myself. And so these people are following you for a reason. So how did you get to where you are right now today?
I'm going to be really 100% honest with you. Like, I have never been a social media person. Like, I don't really care for social media, because my thing is I'd rather live life than watch it. And my husband would keep saying, you need to build a following. And I'm like, dude, look, if the people going to, you know, be interested in me, they're going to be interested in me. And I had the SANIYYAH MAYO page years ago, and I shut it off because I didn't use it, because I really wasn't interested. And it was just something in my spirit, like, you need to activate this page again. And when I did it, when I moved by listening to God, doors just started to open. It's nothing that I could say that I did. I just showed up every day. I just did my part, and he did the rest. Because there's nothing that I did that's just miraculous. And that's why I say, when people are like, you're so inspirational, I'm just me. I'm just doing what he's created me to do, and I feel like he'll do the rest. So if you show up and do your part, he'll bring the people. He'll send the people. You know, even how me and Lakisha met, we just saw each other on Facebook, and I was admired by what she did, and she was admired by what I did. It wasn't nothing supernatural. It was, we just showed up, handled our business, and God did the rest.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you're answering my question. I just want to say you're doing a great job. And I was like, oh, my God, it's past 5 o'clock. I need to listen to her. I need to get in on this.
I appreciate you tuning in.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, I have a question for the young lady who's talking. I don't want to be rude and mispronounce your name, but I've been listening with my friend, and it's like your husband seen the vision over your life before you did. It's like he really encouraged you, and that's awesome when you have a partner like that, or when you have someone in your corner that's pushing you to your calling. Sometimes we don't see it, but other people see it in us. And I just think that's awesome.
Thank you. I think it's awesome as well. Yeah, it's sometimes the thing about us is we minimize our gifts, you know, and the fear is what, like, people would tell me all the time, like, oh, you're encouraging people. From the time I was a kid, I have older sisters that would come to me for advice, and I'm thinking, you're the older sister, I should be coming to you, but it's just something that I've always done. But because it's so natural and it's me, I never saw it as a gift. I just always saw it as SANIYYAH being SANIYYAH. But like you said, I do appreciate him pushing me, because he kind of pushes me to the point where I'm like, okay, stop pushing. But in reality, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have released my book as fast as I would, because it was him like, no, we got to get it out. And I'm like, okay, but I haven't finished editing. But he's always been, you know, the driving force to push me to excel as well as I push him. And even in, you know, relationships, you have to have that person that is walking with you, not in front of you, not behind you, but side by side with you.
Amen. Did that answer your question? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. All right, lovely. Anybody else? Okay. Well, Saniyyyah, I got just a few more questions. One thing I would like to say, I'm sure you have spoken over so many people's lives today, and I know they can feel what you've poured into them. What, would you like to leave the listeners with? What message would you like to leave them with tonight?
If I could tell you anything, I would always tell you to reach for the skies. There's nothing that is impossible. When you put God first in your life, and I really mean this, and it's not even cliche, it's really real. When you put God first in your life, the opportunities are limitless. When you pretty much make yourself available, and, I remember I would cry and I would pray and I would say, I would sing the song, Lord, if you can use anything, you can use me. And, sometimes we say things and we really don't know what we're asking for. But when you're open to the calling of your life, because I believe every person here on earth has a purpose. Everyone does. But walking in that purpose and accepting that purpose and that calling is what's going to put you out there. But you have to be willing to surrender and submit yourself. And I have to tell myself it's not about me. It's not about me. I need makeup, I need to do this, I need to do that, to do a video or just to step out. I have to realize it's not about me. And when you really surrender to that and understand that, the possibility is limitless.
And that's so true. And I know a lot of people can feel that tonight. And for anybody who's listening who doesn't know how to contact you or who may want to reach out to you to, get some kind of help, assistance, where and how can the listeners find you and follow you? Just, please give every contact available that you can for them to find you after the show.
I want to actually, tell you guys about a thing that I'm going to be doing July 16th. I'm going to be doing a speaking engagement where it's going to be focused on tailored to women, and the tickets will be $20. But if you bring a teenager or a young girl, they will be admitted in free, because I want to really get this message out. I think if you have daughters, it would definitely be beneficial for you and your daughter to attend. So that would be July 16th. It would be in California, in the Inland Empire. I will put information up at a later date, but just be looking for it. Also, if you want to contact me in any way, my first and last name on Periscope, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, it's Saniyyyah Mayo. And if you want to visit my website or purchase anything, a book or a T-shirt, it's SANIYYAHMAYO.com, and I'm going to spell my name again. My first name is SANIYYAH, last name is MAYO. If you want to book me, you would contact my manager, Lainey Lino, at BeEncouraged with the D at SANIYYAHMAYO.com.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Saniyyyah, I can't even find the words to thank you so much for taking time out of your day, to empower and inspire us tonight and to pour into us. Hello? Okay. Is someone asking a question?
Hi. Just mine.
Okay.
I think that's
that's what I'm thinking. So no problem. So I just want to say to you again, thank you so much.
It sounds like someone's speaking now.
Well, I have something to say. I love you, Miss Mayo. Keep doing what you're doing.
I love you, Miss Mayo.
That would be my older sister, Cherie. Thank you for
Oh, bless. That was so sweet. Okay, that was so sweet. And, I'm going to release you to your family now, Saniyyyah. And like I said, thanks again. May God continue to bless you, your husband, on your journeys to the next level. Callers, please make sure you follow and support this awesome, phenomenal lady. She is definitely destined for great things. So please go ahead, follow her, learn from her. And I just want to end this show tonight speaking to all the callers just to thank you for tuning in. And I want to leave you on this note. You know, I named my company Mindset Over Everything because my motto is what you believe, you will receive. And something people really need to understand is your thoughts are the most powerful tools that you possess. Because it doesn't matter if you want to be a good mother, a good wife, a good boss, student, a good employee. If your mind ain't right, you will never get right. You see, you have to change your mindset and how you view things to change your life. What you focus on and give power to has a hold over you. So in order to receive good, you must think good, then do good. And the fact is there is no other option. There's no shortcut. You only reap what you sow, bottom line. Positive thoughts lead to positive action, which then leads to positive results, plain and simple. There's no big conspiracy. There's no, magic secret. That is the secret. So it doesn't matter how many seminars you attend, videos you watch, or these shows that you call into. If at the end you don't take what you've learned and start practicing positive thinking daily over your life, living positively, living with gratitude, and constantly working towards your goals regardless of the obstacles that come your way, it is going to be impossible to be successful. So my mission is simply to inspire and enlighten you so you may understand the power that each of us individually possess within ourselves. You have the power to create your life. Don't let life create you. So thank you. Once again, this is Diva Ross on Boss Talk. We were joined by SANIYYAH Mayo. It's a telephone talk show that is dedicated to inspiring, empowering, and assisting you on your journey to becoming a boss. This show was recorded, and a link to it will be available for listening pleasure tomorrow. Thank you again for calling in. You can meet me here same time, same place in 2 weeks for your next dose of Boss Talk. Remember, knowledge is power. Good night, and God bless.
All right.